I sent my cousin $800 0 cents a week so she could pretend to be successful. At her birthday, she called me cheap. 36 hours later, I posted the receipt and watched her world implode quietly. I didn't expect a thank you. I didn't expect flowers, but I definitely didn't expect, "You're just here for the free food, right?" Ava said it loud enough for the whole roof to hear, her glittery champagne flute catching the light like she was accepting an award for the pettiest human alive. Laughter exploded around her, not the polite kind but the cruel kind that makes your skin crawl. I stood there, holding the $200 gift I'd wrapped an hour earlier, wondering if anyone else at the table realized I was the one who paid for all this. My cousin Ava, my spoiled, picture-perfect influencer wannabe cousin, looked me straight in the eye with that mocking smile I knew too well. In that moment, she wasn't just laughing at me, she was erasing me. I waited for someone, anyone, to step in. Maybe her boyfriend, maybe our Aunt Karen, but no one did. No one ever does. Instead, Ava kept grinning like it was all a bit, like I hadn't spent 11 months sending her $800 a week because she couldn't manage her finances after quitting her job to become a wellness content creator. I covered her rent, her utilities, her groceries when she forgot her pen, emergency vet bills for the dog she couldn't afford, spa days, and the facial she got 2 days before this very party. I funded this entire party. Her Great Gatsby theme with the balloon arch, the rooftop staging, the floral installation with her name in gold foil, even cupcakes she wouldn't let anyone eat until she posted a boomerang. And now I was the punchline, just the cheap cousin in off-brand slacks with a modest gift card in a recycled envelope. Not Instagram earthy, not rich, not relevant, just a walking ATM in the background. I stood frozen, cupcake in hand, her laugh still ringing in my ears. Then I placed it down, calm and precise, like I was setting down the final payment in a transaction I never agreed to. I didn't make a scene, I didn't throw a drink, I didn't say goodbye. I walked away. No one stopped me, not even Ava, who once left me 6 voicemails in a row, sobbing because she couldn't breathe from anxiety about a $1,191.40. I paid it that same night. That was a month ago. Now she was laughing in my face like I was a sympathetic fool who didn't realize I'd been used. I didn't stay for cake, and I didn't answer my phone the next day, or the one after that. But by hour 36, I had 14 voicemails, 3 texts, and then, just before midnight, a knock on my apartment door. Soft, hesitant, like the person on the other side wasn't sure if I'd even open it. They were right to be afraid, because this time I had nothing left to give and more to say than ever before. It started with one temporary payment. 11 months later, I was bankrolling her lifestyle like I owed her something. She never said thank you, but she always remembered to send a Venmo request. It started with a phone call. "Hey, I know this is awkward, but I really need help with rent this month," Ava had said, her voice shaking just enough to sound genuine. "Just until I get a few more brand deals going. I swear I'll pay you back next week." That was 47 weeks ago. Spoiler, she never paid me back, not once, not even $5 for coffee. But at the time I said yes. Why? Because I was naive, maybe. Because we're family, that's what I told myself, but really, it was guilt. Guilt is a dangerous thing, especially when you've spent your whole life being told you're the lucky one who made it out, who has a real job, who should help out more. At first it was just rent, then groceries, then surprise dental work, then her dog needed surgery. Then she lost her phone and couldn't do her content, which meant she'd lose followers, which meant she'd have to start over from scratch. She cried. I paid, every week, without fail, $800, sometimes more. I didn't live fancy. I drove a beat-up Civic, ate pasta 4 times a week, skipped going out with friends so I wouldn't have to explain why I couldn't split the bill. Meanwhile, Ava posted beach pics from weekend retreats, face masks that cost more than my electric bill, and videos from yoga studios with $30 drop-ins. I paid for her silence, her comfort, her carefully curated image. And the worst part? She acted like it was normal, like I was just doing my part. "You're always so generous," she'd say when I sent money. Not "thank you," not "I'll pay you back," just that, like she was offering me a compliment for being her personal piggy bank. But the real turning point came 6 weeks before the party. She called me crying, sobbing, saying she was going to be evicted because her landlord was unreasonable and demanding rent again like some kind of monster. "It's just temporary," she sniffled. "Please, I'm drowning." So I wired her $2,400 in one hit. The next day, she posted a photo from a new spa, the caption reading, "When you realize the universe provides." I stared at it for a full minute, rereading it over and over. I was the universe now. That night, I started tracking every transaction: rent, groceries, beauty treatments, emergency Uber rides, payments to her hairstylist, $89 to a bakery for gluten-free birthday cupcakes. For a dog, yes, a dog. By the end of the month, the total was just over $31,000. I could have bought a new car, paid off my student loans, traveled somewhere. But instead, and still, she called me cheap. That word cut deeper than I expected because she'd said it before. It started as a joke one time when I brought beer instead of wine to a family barbecue. She rolled her eyes and said, "Wow, budget front and boring, classic you." Another time when I turned down her suggestion to go in on a joint birthday trip to Cabo. She muttered, "Don't be so tight." I ignored it. I always ignored it because she was going through a lot. Because she didn't mean it. Because I was the responsible one, the calm one, the one who always picked up the pieces. But something changed after that spa post. Something cracked. The next time she called to say her Wi-Fi was shut off, I paused. I let the silence sit longer than usual. "You there?" she asked, her voice already turning defensive. "I'm here," I said slowly, "but I'm not sure why." She got quiet. "Because you always help," she finally said. "You said you'd always be there for me." And there it was, not gratitude, not humility, but entitlement. She didn't see my help as kindness. She saw it as her right, like I owed her a lifestyle. I realized then this wasn't support anymore. This was servitude. That week, I didn't send the $800. The next day, I woke up to 3 missed calls, then a text. "Hey, did something go wrong with the transfer? My landlord's texting me again." I didn't reply. The week after that, she Venmo'd me again. No message, just the number, $800. I declined it. 2 hours later, she posted a story saying, "Funny how some people disappear the moment you actually need them. Real ones stay." I laughed out loud. And then came the birthday invite, the Gatsby-themed rooftop event. I didn't want to attend but felt obligated because she'd called and said, "I really need this to go well. I want you there. I mean it." So I showed up with a gift, with clean clothes I ironed myself, with every bit of dignity I had left. And she mocked me in front of everyone for being just here for the free food. And they laughed. Not one person stood up for me. Not one person asked, "Wait, isn't that the guy who basically paid for this whole thing?" Now she was calling, texting, begging because the gravy train had stopped and she had nowhere else to go. But I wasn't answering because this wasn't just about money anymore. This was about how much of myself I'd sold off for the price of being accepted and how done I was with the deal. When she showed up at my door in tears, I thought maybe, just maybe, she finally understood. Instead, she doubled down and I burned the bridge myself. The knock came just before midnight. I ignored it the first time. Then came the second, quieter this time, like whoever it was had lost the courage to follow through. I knew it was her. I waited. "Please, I just need to talk," Ava said. The same voice that once called me in the middle of the night because her Uber got lost and she didn't want to pay surge pricing. The same voice that begged me to help with rent. The same voice that called me cheap in front of 30 people while holding a glass of champagne I paid for. I opened the door, and there she was, mascara smeared, hoodie zipped up over her party dress, heels in one hand like a defeated prom queen. Her eyes were glassy, makeup smudged, but she was still Ava, the girl who knew how to make herself look broken enough to be forgiven. "I didn't mean what I said," she whispered. I didn't speak, I just stepped aside. She walked in slowly, like a child waiting to be scolded. "I was drunk," she started. "It was a joke. I didn't think—" I cut her off. "Don't start with that." She blinked. You left and then you didn't answer. I thought you were mad, but come on, you know I didn't mean it like that." "No," I said, "you meant it exactly like that." She opened her mouth again, but I was done waiting for her to find the right lie. "You called me cheap," I said, "in front of people I don't even know, people who ate my money off gold toothpicks and laughed at me while doing it." "I didn't ask you to pay for everything," she snapped, her voice cracking. I laughed, actually laughed. "You didn't?" I raised an eyebrow. "Let me refresh your memory." I pulled up my phone, opened my Venmo, and held it out to her. Page after page, $800, $400, $1,200, even $36 for sushi because her card was weird. "You didn't ask. You begged. You cried. You guilted." She crossed her arms, suddenly defensive. "Why are you making this such a big deal? You make more than enough. What's a few thousand?" That was it. I felt something snap so hard inside my chest I had to take a breath before I answered. "You know what?" I said quietly. "I make enough, I do. And for 11 months, I lived like a ghost so you could look alive. I ate ramen so you could post lobster rolls. I skipped therapy because I couldn't afford it after paying your rent. I suffocated so you could breathe in your stupid eucalyptus-scented yoga studio." Tears welled in her eyes again. "I didn't know." "No, you didn't care." Silence. And then her fallback move. "I'm your family," she said softly. "You said you'd always help." And there it was again, the manipulation. "I said I'd help." I nodded. "I didn't say I'd disappear for you." She looked at the floor, then suddenly, "So what? You're cutting me off forever? After everything?" "Everything," I repeated. "What exactly is everything? You mean the part where you drained me dry and laughed in my face? Or the part where you pretended I didn't exist unless a bill was due?" Her face hardened. "You're being dramatic." "Good," I said, stepping closer. "Then maybe I'll finally match your energy." That hit her. She stepped back. "You think you're better than me now?" "No," I said coldly. "I think I finally see who you are." Her mouth opened, but no words came out, so I kept going. "You stood in front of a crowd of people and tried to shrink me. You humiliated the one person who's been in your corner since day one. And now you're here with tears and guilt, thinking I'll fold again." She swallowed hard. "I just need a little help, just for this month. Rent is late and—" "No," I said, a single word, sharp, clean. She looked stunned, like no one had ever said it to her before. I walked to the door and opened it. "You're not my responsibility, Ava. Not anymore." Her lip trembled. "But I have no one else." "You had me," I said, "and you laughed me out of your life." She stood there for a second, wounded, angry, maybe both. Then grabbed her purse and stomped out, muttering something under her breath. I closed the door behind her, locked it, then turned my phone off for real this time. No more transfers, no more requests, no more pretending that being used is the same as being loved. I thought cutting her off would feel like guilt. Instead, it felt like freedom. The silence was strange at first. No Venmo pings, no dramatic 2 a.m. voicemails, no texts with crying emojis and just one more time attached. For the first time in almost a year, my phone was quiet. Honestly, I thought I'd feel guilty. I thought I'd lie awake at night wondering if she was okay, if she made rent, if her dog got fed, if she'd post some cryptic story that would make me second-guess everything. But I didn't feel guilty. I felt relief, sharp, electric, overwhelming relief. It was like someone had taken bricks off my chest I didn't even realize were there. I cleaned my apartment, paid my own bills, and had money left over. I bought groceries for me and didn't have to subtract Ava's $800 from my weekly budget. I even booked a therapy session I'd been putting off for 6 months. And still, no word. Not from her. Not from anyone in that toxic, ever-smiling, always demanding circle she'd built around herself like a moat. Until day 8. That's when it began. At first it was subtle, a reposted Instagram quote, "Cutting people off doesn't make you strong, it makes you heartless." Then a story of her crying, cropped just right to show smeared mascara and a plush blanket, captioned, "Some people only love you when you're useful." I rolled my eyes so hard I thought I'd lose vision. Then came the text. "A patient came in who I thought we were better than this." I didn't reply. The next day, another. Just let me explain, please. I need this to make sense. I can come over. Just talk." Still no reply. And then, of course, the escalation. That Saturday, I ran into her mom, my aunt, in line at the grocery store. "Oh, you're alive," she said, with a cold smile loud enough for people to hear. "Aida said you've been distant." I didn't respond. I just a polite nod, paid for my groceries, and left. By Sunday, Ava's tone had shifted completely. "Ava, look, I know I messed up, but I didn't mean to hurt you. I just panicked. Everyone was watching, and I tried to be funny. It was a joke. You matter to me. You always have. Please don't hate me." I stared at the screen for a full minute, and then I did something I hadn't done since all of this began. I put my phone down and went outside. I took a walk, got a coffee, sat in the park with a book, and didn't feel the crushing weight of someone else's panic on my shoulders. I wasn't a fixer anymore. But Ava didn't stop. She texted again and again, then called, leaving a voicemail that started calm and dissolved into... It wasn't about rent anymore, or the party. It was about control. She could feel it slipping, and she was spiraling. The next evening, she tried one last card. She showed up at my door again, but this time she wasn't alone. Behind her was her boyfriend, Brandon or Braxton or whatever Pinterest name he had. The same one who laughed at her joke, who watched me walk away from that rooftop like I was nothing. Now he stood on my doorstep with his hands in his pockets, eyes downcast. "We just want to talk," Ava said softly. I didn't open the door all the way. "You already did," I said, "on your rooftop in front of 30 people. "I didn't mean it." "You meant every word," I said, "but I meant mine too. I'm done." Braxton finally looked up. "Look, man. She's been spiraling. She hasn't slept. She's not okay." I tilted my head. "Did she cry this much when she called me cheap in front of you?" Silence. I kept going. "You two have each other. She can figure it out or not. But I'm done playing the villain in a story where I was the only one bleeding to keep someone else warm." And then I closed the door. Not slammed, not yelled, just closed, because that's what boundaries sound like. Later that night, I took the gift I brought to her party, the one I left on the table, the one she never even opened, and threw it away. It felt like tossing a receipt to a scam I never agreed to, and you know what? I didn't feel guilty. I felt clean. Final update, I posted the story online, not for sympathy, just to breathe. But I wasn't ready for the world to answer back. A week after I closed the door on Ava for good, I did something I never thought I would. I posted the whole thing on Reddit, not under my name of course, just anonymously under a throwaway account. Titled, I paid my cousin $800 a week for 11 months. She called me cheap at her birthday. I left without saying a word, no hashtags, no edits, just the truth. The post blew up. Within hours, tens of thousands of upvotes, thousands of comments, people dissecting every sentence like I was a character in some twisted drama. I didn't expect it. I didn't even know why I did it. Maybe I just needed to say it out loud to see if I was crazy or if she really was. And Reddit didn't hold back. Some of the top comments were savage. She's not your cousin. She's been draining you emotionally for months. You did the right thing cutting her off. I would have thrown the cupcake at her face. The patience you had, saint level. I'd cut my own brother off for half that insult. But then came the questions, the real ones, the ones that made me stop scrolling and start thinking. Why did you keep helping her for so long? What was in it for you? Were you in love with her or something? This sounds more than cousin-level generosity. Serious question. Are you sure you weren't trying to buy her love? And the worst one, what made you think you deserved to be treated like that in the first place? That last one hit different because they were right. I wasn't just being generous. I was trying to earn something I never had growing up, belonging. Ava had always been the star, the golden girl, even when we were kids. I was the boring cousin, the logical one, the quiet one who always had extra pencils. Helping her made me feel needed, and when you grow up invincible, needed can feel like love. But it wasn't. It was dependency, exploitation dressed in sparkles. And once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. So I posted a follow-up update. I've read your comments, good, bad, unhinged, and here's the truth. I helped her because I wanted to believe someone could need me that much and still love me. But love isn't what demands silence. Love doesn't humiliate you in public. Love doesn't see your generosity as currency it's owed. So no, I wasn't in love with her, I just wanted to matter. And now, I matter to myself for the first time. That comment hit 40,000 upvotes in a day. People started quoting it, messaging me, sharing their own stories. This made me cry in the break room. I just canceled a Venmo auto transfer to my sister, thank you. Dude, you helped me leave my mom's house. And of course, not everyone was supportive. You're still bitter. This screams main character energy from someone who's never been told no. Maybe. But if being the main character in my own life makes me bitter, so be it. I was an extra in everyone else's drama for too long. Now, I don't send money out of guilt. I don't answer middle-of-the-night sob stories. I don't live with my phone vibrating like a slot machine every time someone needs a little something. I take walks. I cook for one. I sleep. The other day, Ava texted again. Ava, I miss how we used to be before all the whatever this is. I didn't respond because whatever this is the first time in my life. Do I forgive her? I don't know. Some days I think I do. Some days I remember the look on her face when she called me cheap after I'd held her up like scaffolding for almost a year, and I realized she didn't just take my money, she tried to take my dignity. And that's the last thing I'll ever loan anyone again. So now I'm here, talking this, watching strangers read my life like a novel. Some cheer, some cringe, some don't believe me, and some see themselves in it. And maybe that's why I posted it in the first place. Because if someone else out there is being used, quietly smiling while they're drowning, wondering if they're the crazy one for finally saying no, maybe this will help them breathe. Or maybe not. I don't pretend to have the answers. But here's what I do wonder. If someone only loves you when you're useful, did they ever love you at all?